If you're on Social Security, I have some breaking news for you. After months of scrutinizing, Social Security finally released the official COLA numbers for 2025.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
COLA, which is your Social Security cost of living adjustment, or the amount that your Social Security increases each year, is officially going up by 2.5% in 2025. That's right. 2.5% is how much your Social Security is going to increase next year. Now, that's a smaller increase from last year's 3.2% and a far cry from 2023's increase of 8.7%, which, to be fair, was a record high increase. Now, everyone receives a slightly different amount from Social Security, but for most people, this 2.5% increase means that their Social Security benefit is going up by about $50 a month. And I don't know about you guys, but that feels a little low, especially with how much inflation we've been experiencing. Social Security bases its cost of living increase on inflation, and the government says that inflation is up about 2.5% this year, and so your cost of living increase in Social Security is also 2.5%. Now, you might be wondering, where the heck did the government get this 2.5% inflation from? Because it certainly feels like prices have gone up a lot more than that. Well, inflation is based on the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, which is essentially how much consumer goods cost. They look at the Consumer Price Index from last year and compare it to this year, which is basically averaging the cost of goods last year against what things cost this year. And the difference in a percentage is what they use to determine what the inflation is, and then also what the cost of living increase for Social Security will be. So the government compared the cost of consumer goods from last year to the cost of consumer goods this year, and they found that it was about a 2.5% increase across the board. But even though the official numbers say that inflation is only up 2.5%, it certainly doesn't feel like that, especially when you're buying groceries or getting gas, right? I mean, how do they expect people to pay for food when eggs alone are up 28% from last year? And if you look at this chart from CNBC on the core categories of groceries, you'll find that almost all of these categories are up by more than that measly 2.5%. I mean, look at this. Eggs are up 28.1%. I mean, I eat eggs every day. Juice is up 18.3%. And frankfurters are up 11%. You look at some of these categories like beans and lentils. I mean, that's an important category, 6.8% up. Beef roast, 6.7, butter, 6.7, pork chops, 5. Pretty much all the meat is up way more than 2.5%. Peanut butter, 4.7. I mean, you get the point. Groceries are more expensive. But it's not just groceries. Let's look at some of these other things. I mean, electricity is up 3.9%. Everybody has to use electricity. It's one of our major bills, right? Motor vehicle insurance, 16.5%. Everyone has to get motor vehicle insurance. I love this category, video discs and other media. Boy, watch out, your video discs have gone up 14.3%. Who's buying video discs? And then you go all the way down to postage and delivery services, tax return preparation, all in the 5% range. I mean, these are major increases, much more than that 2.5% increase on your Social Security. So it certainly seems like it's the unimportant things that are bringing the inflation numbers down, while the important things that you need are increasing way more than 2.5%. Now, unfortunately, whenever Social Security gives you an increase, Medicare comes in and takes some of that increase away with things like the increase in a Part B premium or other Medicare costs. Now, we don't know the Medicare increase numbers for 2025. When we do, we'll let you know. But every year that there has been a cost of living increase on Social Security, there's pretty much always been an increase in your Part B premium. So that chips away at that additional $50 that most people are getting. But we'll tell you more about how Medicare increases when that comes out. So let's go back to Social Security. So here's how you would find out how much your Social Security is increasing before the November 20th date, when they're going to send you a letter telling you exactly what it is. You can calculate it on your own. You just take your amount. So I'm going to do some easy round math. Let's say that you have Social Security of $2,000 a month. You multiply that by 0.025, which in this case equals $50, which $50 was the average increase, so that makes a lot of sense there. Probably the average cost of living increase being $50 means that the average Social Security benefit is $2,000. So you add those together and you get $2,050. So that's how you would determine how much yours is going up. Just multiply it by 0.025. Of course, a shortcut is to just do the 2,000 multiplied by 1.025 equals 2,050. and that will tell you exactly how much to expect for your Social Security increase. Now, aside from COLA, there are also a bunch of new changes in the numbers in some of the other Social Security numbers, so let's go over those quickly. Okay, let's start with what the maximum Social Security benefit will be with this increase. So I'm going to start with, we'll do this by age, and we'll do 2024 and 2025. And remember, we're going to be adding the 2.5% increase to the numbers for 2024. So at age 62, that's the first age when you can take Social Security. In 2024, the maximum benefit was $2,710. So if we multiply that by 2.5%, that's going to take us up to $2,777. Now you might be asking, how did you do that math so fast? Well, remember when you were in school and your teacher said, hey, you need to learn how to do this math because you're not going to be walking around all the time with a calculator in your pocket? Well, the joke's on them, right? So I don't do the math in my head, I'll confess. I do it on my phone. So let's go to full retirement age. That's age 66. That's when you get the full retirement benefits. And in 2024, those were $3,822. If we multiply that by 2.5%, that will be $3,917 for the maximum Social Security benefit at full retirement age. Now let's go one step further to age 70, because if you delay your Social Security, then you get a higher benefit per month. At age 70, the maximum benefit was $4,555 in 2024. At 2.5% increase, that means that's going to go up to $4,668 in 2025. Next is the maximum taxable income for Social Security. Now this is for people who are working but have not yet taken Social Security. So Social Security can tax your income in 2024 up to $168,600. After that, you don't pay into Social Security if you earn more than that. So for these high income earners, they are not paying into Social Security after they hit that cap. So again, in 2024, the max taxable income is $168,600. And in 2025, that is going up to $176,100. So a high income earner who has not yet gotten Social Security is going to pay taxes on their income up to $176,100. If they earn more than that, after they've paid taxes on $176,100, they will no longer pay into Social Security for the additional income. Now, lastly, we're going to talk about the changes to retirement earning test numbers. Now, this applies to people who are working and have already taken Social Security. So if you've taken Social Security and you're working, these tests will tell you if you're going to be taxed on your Social Security. We're going to do this in 3 categories. There is the low test, which is for people who are younger than 66, which is the full retirement age. So less than 66, you're under the age of 66, then this is the low earnings test. We're going to do the high earnings test. This is for people who are within 1 year of turning 66. So 1 year away from turning 66. And then we're going to do full retirement age. Full retirement. So in 2024, the low earnings test was $22,320. In 2025, the low earnings test is increasing to $23,400. The high test for 2024 is $59,520, and for 2025, it's $62,160. The good news for full retirement is no limit, and that is the same in 2025. So in a nutshell, for every $2 you earn above the low earnings test for full retirement, $1 will be deducted from your Social Security benefit. And for every $3 that you earn above the high earnings test, $1 will be deducted from your Social Security benefit. I mean, this is terrible. Now, this is all quite complicated, so I don't want to get too deep into it for this video. But if it's something you'd like to learn more about in the future, then go ahead and hit the like button. If we get enough likes, Then I'll make an in-depth video explaining the retirement earnings test numbers, as well as everything Social Security related, like how benefits are actually calculated. Another thing I want to address is the rumor that Social Security is running out of money. While this certainly makes a great news headline and gets a lot of clicks, it's not really 100% true. You see, while some projections show that the trust fund reserve for Social Security will run out by 2035 if nothing changes, this does not mean that Social Security would completely run out of cash, because Social Security is primarily funded by working taxpayers. So, as long as people are paying taxes into the Social Security system,
it's been 84 years.
There should be money for the beneficiaries. However, the projections say that if nothing happens, we would have to reduce Social Security benefits in 2035. And some people predict that beneficiaries would only get around 83% of their full Social Security benefit if nothing is done about it. Will that happen? No way. My opinion is that there's no way that politicians will let Social Security run out of money. That is like committing political suicide. Retired people are the most likely to vote of any group, so politicians know better than to let Social Security fail. There are some interesting policies about Social Security that are being discussed in this election. One of them is from Donald Trump saying that he does not want to tax Social Security benefits. And based on the numbers that I just showed you, I think for working seniors that would be very popular. But personally, I am not concerned about Social Security running out of money, because I think politicians would make the choice to cut other line items in the budget rather than Social Security. Now that we've cleared up that whole thing about Social Security running out of money in 2035, let's get back to the COLA increases of 2025. So what can you do about this small COLA increase? Well, the truth is, no matter how much you complain, Social Security is not going to change their mind or the numbers. If you're living on a fixed income, there are other ways to cut costs, especially with Medicare. So make sure that you review your annual Notice of Changes, or ANOC, because we love our acronyms, and you can consider switching to a lower cost Medicare plan during the annual election period, which runs from October 15th to December 7th. If Social Security is increasing by $50 a month, but you're able to find a plan that saves you another $50 a month, that's like having a $100 a month increase. If you want to learn more about the ANOC, you can check out my full video on the annual Notice of Change, which could potentially save you a lot of money next year. And this coming October 15th, I'm also releasing a complete guide to the annual enrollment period, so be sure to subscribe so that you see that. So what do you guys think about all of this? Is the 2.5% COLA increase reasonable? Should it have been higher? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And for those of you on Medicare, there are even more changes coming for you. So it's very important to review your annual Notice of Change document that your insurance company should have sent you by now. If you didn't receive it in the mail, then maybe they send it by email, so make sure you check your email. It could save you a lot of money. And this video will show you what you need to look out for. And if you need any help reviewing your Medicare plan and looking for your options to cut costs, you can text us or call us. One of our licensed insurance agents will be happy to assist you at no cost to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.